Hello world, my name is Richard, and this video is about digital IDs, which apparently the government are now proposing or soon will propose. And I'm taking this from a guy called Waffle. I've been pushing his videos quite often recently because he's clearly an IT expert and I've got an IT background, so I've got a fair idea of what he's talking about. And he's very concerned about the whole way the government's going in terms of digital IDs and keeping track of people and so forth. He's quite concerned. And the Online Security Act is quite alarming. Now, I don't mind digital IDs in principle. In fact, I think they could be quite useful. If you want to have a digital contract, for example, in law, right now, all you've got these silly signatures that people have to use, is just daft. If you had a proper digital ID which could be verified independently, legally, by some solicitor or whatever, or some authority, then that could be useful. I just moved house. It took 9 months to get the whole conveyancing business sorted out. The solicitors are so slow. Don't know why they are, but they're just appalling. And I love it doing searches and finding out things and getting all the details and all the I's dotted and T's crossed and things. And it occurs to me, if you had a blockchain record per house, per property, that record every change you've ever made, like roof repairs, for example, or insurance issues or whatever, or water maintenance, whatever the property requires. Any change could be recorded on the blockchain. So anytime you go to buy it, you've got a record of what's happened, and they can do it in minutes. The whole conveyancing business could go out the window. So I think digital IDs could have some use. They could be useful. I'm not disputing that. And in Belgium, they already have ID cards. They're quite happy with them. And in that culture, when I was last there, they didn't like credit cards. Apparently, there's some scandal about them, and nobody ever trusted anything more in the shops. Didn't take them. Quite odd for me, but they're quite concerned about security for different reasons, or similar reasons. So I don't think IDs is a problem. What concerns me is the way the government's implemented them and the fact the government is implementing them. Because our governments have a very poor record when it comes to IT projects. It's really, really poor. They used to spend millions on things and on these big, consulting companies like Anderson or whatever. Just a huge amount of money. Quite easily £1,000 per day, easily. Per person. In fact, more, I think, some cases. And apparently what happens is the Treasury steps in early and so they can't afford these consultancy fees to design the project and then the foundations, therefore cut them. So the foundations get cut and the things don't work in the end. It's just sick. At that point, but more importantly, how do you guarantee the security of these IDs that people have? Because hacking is a thing, as Waffle pointed out quite rightly. The government has not got a good record on security itself. It's been hacked before and data breaches, data leaked before. So why should we ever trust them at all? And in particular this government with Starmer. He's really authoritarian. He's draconian. He's got some very odd ideas about democracy. Very strange. This Online Safety Act is scary, for starters. For much the reason, stuff can get hacked. And again, it's the wrong approach. It should be education, not policing. It used to work. Just need more education. It's proven to work. So why have these kind of authoritarian dictatorial measures? It's quite alarming. And especially when you combine it with the laws about being able to protest and so forth. People supporting Palestine getting police, of course, they claim to support Palestine action, which they may or may not have done. I support Palestine and Gaza and oppose Israel, but I don't support Palestine action. But apparently I could be guilty just for supporting Israel, just for supporting Palestine. I mean, it's quite amazing. Anyway, back to digitalised IDs. In principle they could work, they could be useful, but I don't think they should be mandatory by any means. So yeah, make them optional, but mandatory. And the reason given is apparently is to try and stem the tide of immigrants, because they won't have these IDs and therefore won't be able to get a job. But yeah, but there's a black market, There's jobs going on which are not legal or not recorded, so you don't need IDs in the first place because you won't be paying tax, whatever. You probably can't claim health benefits or help assistance at all. Yes, true. But they don't have this, I guess. So the whole thing is very disturbing. The whole ethos of the government is quite alarming. And so I hope you will share this video, along with similar ones, and point out to MPs just what the dangers are, and why on earth is the excuse of opposing immigration ever going to work, and why how in the first place. We're going to fall to house immigration, we're going to fall to house homeless. These people in charge are just monstrous. They really are. Daft ideas at best. Anyway, that's my view. So please share, as I say, and comment. Please respond, like, or whatever. Thank you. Bye.